Well, hey everybody. Welcome to Breaking Bread with Nanny Bubby. I'm Nanny Bubby. This is my kitchen and I want to welcome you. And you know, here's the funny thing. We really are breaking assemble challah. So I'm pretty excited about all of this. I think that's a great shot for all of you to see. I also want to welcome and thank Melissa's Produce for always being here to support Nanny Bubby and all the fun and wonderful things that I do here in my own kitchen, as well as being our sponsor on KLAS cooking segment on Channel 8 here in Las Vegas. So without further ado, I'm going to start you out by telling you that in this bowl, let me show this to you, in this bowl is 4.5 cups of bread flour, okay? And you may be asking, Marla, Nanny Bubby, what is the difference between bread flour and all-purpose flour? And the difference is that bread flour traditionally has more protein in it. And the protein helps the gluten develop a little bit faster and a little bit better. And if you don't use bread flour and you use all-purpose flour, it actually could turn out very, very dry. So I love the King Arthur organic bread flour. You can get it at Whole Foods, probably at Sprouts as well. And there is 4.5 cups in this bowl right here, right into the mixer. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see the depth, if I push this up, but basically there is a well in the center of that mixer. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put in, as you can see, oh, wait, let's stop. We are not ready for that because I forgot the most important thing. So this is 2/3 of a cup of warm water. Now, if you read your Fleischmann's, and we're using rapid rise yeast in this. So let me just tell you, in here is 2/3 cup warm water. It needs to be between 120 and 130 degrees. If it's too hot, it will kill the yeast because it is a living organism. And if it's too cold, it won't develop properly. And if it is expired, forget it. It'll never rise. So in here is 2/3 cups warm water and 2 teaspoons of sugar because yeast loves sugar. It will eat it up. And we're going to pour it right into this like that. We're going to take our little spoon here. Let's see if we can give you a tight shot of that. There we go. And we're going to take the spoon. There you go. I'll give you that tight shot. And we're just going to mix it around. Now what's going to happen in the next few minutes is that it is going to foam up. And when the foam is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick, then it'll be time to put it into the mix. So there we go. I'm going to leave that right there on that tight shot so that as it begins to develop and foam, you guys can take a good look at it and you'll know exactly what it looks like. So as you're just keeping a tight eye on that, I'm going to now take you back and bring you over here to the mixer. So we put in a well, and in that well, we are going to put 2 eggs right in the middle. We're going to put 1/3 of a cup of sugar. There we go. We're going to put 1/3 of a cup. This is coconut oil. I never, ever, ever cook with canola oil or any of the vegetable oils except avocado and or olive oil. And by the way, olive oil makes a great addition. I've been trying to kill that bug. I just killed a bug on the mixer, so we will not have bugs in our challah. Olive oil and challah, as I was starting to say, really actually make a great combination. So here is a teaspoon, and I like a lot of salt in my bread, so about 1.75 teaspoons. in there. And then in this right here, as you can see, let me just go back to this. This is 2/3 of a cup of warm water. Now I've tried to reduce the water and putting it into the mix, but what I found last week when I did it is that it was very dry. So the water is actually very necessary. And you will see, sorry about that, you will see as this starts to foam up right now, as it begins to foam up, that it will begin to stick to the edges of this measuring cup. And so what I do is I use the extra 2/3 cup of water that I'm going to be adding into this mix to kind of pour in here and help me rinse out the yeast from the inside of this cup. And then I pour it all in. So I'm going to stick into the mixer. If we can go back to here, I'm going to stick into the mixer this, and I'm going to mix this just enough. Let me move this up. There we go. And I'm going to mix it just enough so that we can, let's see, can you see in there? How's that? There we go. Just enough to combine it all. And then I'm going to take out the stir, and I'm going to add a dough hook. And that dough hook is going to work its way into the dough and the dough mixture for a good long period of time, and we are going to watch it get really, really silky and satiny. So okay, let's take this and turn it off. There we go. So it's pretty much combined except for the water. So now if we take a look right here, you can see that the yeast is starting to foam, and it's really doing a great job. It really, really is. I'm going to give it just another couple of minutes before we throw it into the mixture. But before we do, I just want to mention that my sister is in the hospital over at Southern Hills Hospital. So you can all say hi to Heather and see how she's doing. You can, I don't know if she's watching or not, but I just wanted to mention she's doing great, thank goodness. And I just wanted to say, hey Heather, love you, miss you, hope you're doing better. And let's grab my phone over here and let's see who has come to visit today. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. Let's go to Facebook. And let's see who's here today. So let's go to Nanny Bubby page. Whoop. Come on, Nanny Bubby page. Let's do it, kid. All right. There we go. And there we go. Let's see who's here. Got 1 like. Let's see who else is here. Joan is here. Joan Winderman. Nice to see you. Anybody else here? Oh, let's see. Here we go. All right. And we've got Susie Foreman is here and Jennifer Tuttle is here. So nice to see you. Everybody is starting to chime in. And we've got lots of comments. Let's see. We've got, there we go. Sometimes it takes a minute. There we go. Susie, Tom, the weather is getting me ready for Scotland. Oh, Jennifer's going to Scotland. Oh, I love Scotland. I look at the hills of Scotland, and to me, they look like they have been kissed by God because they're just golden. I expected them to be more Ireland, but they're not. They're more golden. And Lisa says hi to Heather. Hope you're getting better. Jennifer says, hi, Heather. Get well soon. And I know Susie will as well. So, okay, I'm going to put the phone down for just a minute because look at what is going on here. It has really foamed up. Really foamed up. So watch what I'm going to do here. Let's get this over here. And I am going to go ahead and just pour this in. Let's see if I can just bring this up a little bit to over here. And I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in. But as you can see, the yeast is stuck onto the edge of this. And so what I'm going to do is, let me just turn this a little ways here like this, is I'm going to take this water that also needs to go in and I'm pouring it over the edges so that there is no yeast going to be left behind. and I just give it a swirl around just to make sure it dissolves in, and then the rest of this goes right here into the mix. There we go. And once this is well combined, there we go. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to lower this, and I'm going to turn this off into a dough hook. So it's not too sticky, which is a good sign, right? And let me get, if you can see this, let me get this out. Let me pull off everything that is here. And so what part of Scotland are you going to, Jennifer? I know that you are from there, meaning that's where your heritage is. I'm sure you were born here in this country, but I don't know exactly where. But I'm guessing you might be first generation, just because you have a slight accent that feels to me like it's coming from, like, not really you, but from your parents or something. So you have to tell me that, because I don't know. And let me grab this dough hook. Kills me. Sometimes bread is a very messy job, but it is so good. So there's the dough hook, all good on there. I'm going to lift this back up and just watch how this just starts to come together. Isn't that great? Oh, that's a good shot right there, right? And we are going to let this mix for about 5 minutes. And what is really great is that over some time here, you know what, though, I feel like I'm going to turn this off and just combine this with what's in the bottom, because it's kind of stuck on the bottom. There we go. Okay. There we go. You don't want anything to get left behind. Let's turn that back on. Up one more. Too fast. That's not good. That's good. There we go. Look at that shot. I love that. My favorite place in Scotland, Jennifer, was, oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? You can fly into it. I cannot. And we stayed at the Glen Eagles Resort. I'm washing my hands right now. You can't really see me, but you can hear me. And what city in Scotland could I fly into from London? Can you tell me? Gosh, why can't I think of it? Yep, Edinburgh. Thanks, Lisa. I love Edinburgh. I think it's so beautiful. And thanks for that, Lisa. And we stayed at this place called the Glen Eagles Resort, and it was just so beautiful. And you could do everything there. You could do archery, you could do fishing, you could do golf, you could horseback ride, you could just do anything you wanted to do. And it was really good. I really hope that you can hear me pretty good. Some more gnats here. Okay, so this needs to go for about 5 minutes. And you can see that it is getting more and more done and filled out and getting ready to come out. So I'm going to grab some avocado oil, or actually maybe, yeah, I'm going to use the avocado oil. And we're going to give it about another minute. That really looks good. And then what we're going to do is somebody DM Heather and tell her to check Nanny Bubby page right now, and she'll probably be able to see that all of you wished her that she feels better. She got a spider bite. I'm just going to tell you the story. She got a spider bite, and she must have been allergic to it, or it was the meanest spider that's ever lived. And her knee swelled up. Like, she is so tiny. She's like 5'1". She has little tiny legs. She wears a size 5 shoe. Okay, that's how tiny she is. And her knee swelled up. I swear, it looked like it was Shaquille O'Neal's knee on my sister's leg. Her little tiny bird legs, and then this big knee that was red and just awful. And she had a terrible reaction. And so she is in the hospital due to this spider bite right now, and it's really, really bad. So hey there, Heidi. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. So, all right, we're going to just move this down in speed just a little bit. And I am going to show you, this is, I've washed this really well. I'm going to move the equipment just a little bit away. And now I'm going to take, again, I'll go through this one more time. This was 4.5 cups of bread flour. Again, the difference between bread flour and all-purpose flour is there is more protein, which helps the gluten develop and keeps it moist. So you always want to use bread flour. I use King Arthur organic bread flour. There were 2 eggs. There was 1/3 cup of coconut oil. I never use canola ever. Don't blame butter for what canola oil has done to your heart and arteries. I did 2 teaspoons of salt because I like a lot of salt in my bread. You may not. I used 2/3 cup of warm water between 120 and 130 degrees. You always want to use a thermometer, meat thermometer, and test the water, because if it's under 120 degrees, the yeast is a live organism and it needs warmth to develop. So anything over 120 is good, but anything over 130 kills the yeast. So you always want it to be between 120 and 130. Add 2 teaspoons of sugar, because yeast gets energy and develops more quickly and rapidly from sugar. And 2/3 cup of warm water. So I didn't worry about whether it was exactly between 120 and 130, because it was just meant not to be cold, because that inhibits how moist the bread is. But this is very sticky, ooey gooey. Let me see here if I can go back to this. Let's take the dough hook off. There we go. And the way that you get the dough off is you just come along like this and just pull it right off. You don't want to let it dry. You really want to get it off. And then we're going to take this just like this. And here we are back here. And I'm going to take the dough, and I have floured this like this. And we're going to throw that right onto here. And it's so sticky, it is not coming out. So let me reach in and grab this out. There we go. Here it comes. You can feel it coming. There we go. Okay, let's see. Oh, I left a lot in there. Let me pull it out. Actually, let me get rid of the picture-in-picture. Did we? Let's go back to camera 2. There we go. So you can see it all. Let's get it out. Oh my goodness. So I'm doing this from the back side. I'm going to have to pull this up towards my face. Oh my gosh, it's sticky. So, all right. Now, if I need extra flour on this, it is okay if what you grab is all-purpose flour just to dry it out. But I did put bread flour onto the surface of this. Let me put all these in here and set them aside. Okay, and so now I'm going to take this and just in kneading it, and with that dough hook, you really don't need to knead this bread all too much. I really only knead it in order to put the flour to dry it, because really you can see that this is so silky and so really satiny, and it just really developed just so good. I'm going to put it into a ball, and I'm going to just make sure that I sop up whatever bread dough is here, and I really didn't need any more, which is awesome. So I'm just going to do this just a few times, and because that dough hook really does a really, really, really good job. Okay, and to keep it from absorbing all that and getting sticky, ooey gooey again, I'm going to stop now. It's like a little baby's butt is what it is. Okay, now let me just move it over. Of course, it's stuck here. It's nice and heavy. This could be the best challah I've ever made. And I'm going to take this avocado oil, not canola oil. I could use coconut oil. I could use olive oil, but I switch it up all the time. And I'm just going to spray this just like that, okay? And into the bowl goes this. Sometimes I like to just like flip it over because it just absorbs the oil and it just looks so slick and beautiful. There we go. And then I am going to grab a beautiful dishcloth right here and put it, it's nice and clean, put it right over the bread. And now let me show you exactly what I'm going to do because this is so cool. Let me move this over here so that you can see. Hold on. Got to take the same camera that I was using previously. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Camera went away, but I think that'll do it. All right. Let me just give me a minute because this was the same camera that I was using to, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Same camera that I was using for the inside of this bowl. Right now, I'm just going to show you exactly this shot right here. And this is the oven, but I am not putting this in the oven. I'm putting it right, this is my warmer. And my warming drawer actually has a proofing temperature on it. So I have it between, because I feel like the proofing temperature of this is just not warm enough. And I like my bread to really be in a nice warm oven. So my proofing temperature is right between proof and low. And that's how I do it. I'm just going to close this up now. This is like such a blessing. I just love this so much. And let's see the time. It's 3:25. So it's going to be in for an hour and a half. And let me come back over here. And those little dumplings of mine are going to arrive here. I'm looking for my cloth. I'm not sure what I did with it. Oh, here it is. They're going to arrive here in an hour and a half at 5 o'clock. We will take this out, and I'm going to split it in half because the kids like to argue about whether they want to braid it or whether they want to make it into little balls and put it in a springform pan. So my granddaughter likes to braid it. Of course, she likes braids. And my grandson likes to make little balls and put it in a springform pan. And then, so tonight I'm going to let them both do it the way they want. I was like, they argue, and you know, just like kids, even though they're 5 years apart, they should not be arguing, but they are. And so this way, she'll get her braided challah, he'll get his round challah, and we're going to make dinner. Oh God, there is a gnat in this kitchen. I killed one, but there must be another one coming from I don't know where. But anyway, your team grandson. Okay, that's really funny. Valerie Cleveland is here. David Sugar is here. Hey, David, how are you? Yeah, Susie said she hates spiders. I can promise you Heather hates spiders too. You know, it's, boy, I'm telling you, this has been some journey for her. I feel bad. Did somebody DM her on Facebook and tell her that we were all talking about her? And that's it. So this is going to stay in there for an hour and a half. I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know, Jews celebrate the Sabbath Friday night at sundown until Saturday night at sundown. We call it Shabbat, and it's very traditional to make challah for dinner, which is what we're doing now. We light candles. We take a drink of wine, but the kids drink grape juice and think it's wine. They always get so excited. And then we sit down to a delicious dinner. And so that's what's happening tonight. So when I say it's breaking bread with Nanny Bubby, today really was breaking bread with Nanny Bubby. Had a great week in Laguna last week. Those of you who joined the Long Life Era Exercise Challenge 2 weeks ago, were inspiring and amazing, and we're going to do it again. Everybody wants to do it again, so we definitely are. I'm so inspired by the comments and things that we're all learning in Long Life Era. I wanted to say, and I'm going to write about this tonight in Long Life Era, because I was away in Laguna all last week, and we're leaving again tomorrow for about 4 or 5 days. And so I haven't been as active in Long Life Era as I normally would be. There's that gnat. Sorry about that. Jeez. But here's the thing. I spoke on the radio this Wednesday about loneliness and isolation, and that as we get older, we tend to be more isolated, sadly, and that creates loneliness. And if we're not working or we don't have a lot of family, and especially men, this is more prevalent with the men that we love in our lives, and we all love all men because they are equal in every way to their emotions and to their trials and tribulations and tough things that they've gone through in life, not just women. But anyway, that kind of annoys me when I hear women crying all the time about how they've had it so rough and men have it so easy, because I know plenty of men that have not had it easy. But anyway, I digress. But so I always want to spend special care when I speak to make it about men as well as women. But here's the thing. Loneliness is like smoking 16 cigarettes a day. That's how detrimental loneliness is to your health. Loneliness is as detrimental to your health as drinking 6 martinis a night. Loneliness is as detrimental to your health as having never exercised at all into your long life era. Loneliness, at the end of the day, is a disease and a killer. And long life era is a place where we are all connecting in community, which has been absolutely fabulous. But this is what I learned from some of the research I did, and I have to agree with this, and I really want to know what you think about all this. I'm going to write about this tonight in Long Life Era, and that is this. So David Sugar, Jennifer Tuttle, I know Susie is on Long Life Era. I just really want to hear your feedback on this, and you can put the feedback in Long Life Era as opposed to here, just so everybody hears it. And this, because I'll write about it tonight, but this is the deal. A virtual hug is not the same thing as a real hug. A real hug gives off oxytocin when you get it. It creates your brain gets happy, and the actual real interaction, as opposed to just an online community, is really necessary. And when I read this data, I realized that there needs to be an IRL component to Long Life Era. So what is IRL? Well, if you were in your 20s, you would know, but we're in our 60s and 70s, 80s and 90s, and off to 100 here, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and off to 100. And so I will tell you, since I think I'm in my 20s, I will tell you what IRL is. IRL means in real life. In real life. And so there needs to be an in real life component to our Long Life Era community. And we had a little bit of that when last month, a month ago, when David Sugar was playing guitar at Whole Foods in Green Valley, and a lot of people came out to see him. But I think we really legitimately need some sort of IRL component to Long Life Era community so that we can get real hugs, not just virtual hugs, and do something that makes us all feel just as good as when we chime into the community virtually. So if you have thoughts about what that IRL component could be, I'd love to hear it. And remember, go to our shop and shop for spatulas, shop for your affirmation cards, shop for your Spread Love Like Butter apron. You know the holidays are coming. This makes an awesome gift. nannybubby.com/shop, and it could be yours as well. Jenny Aiello is here. Hey, Jenny Aiello, so nice to see you. And Susie said she loves hugs. And Jenny, if you are watching, this is something that I would love your feedback in, because Jenny is I don't want to say counselor because there's a better word for what, she's a coach, she's a life coach. And I can tell you that probably one of the very first things that she might say is that IRL, in real life components to being in a community is way more important than virtual. So for as much as I love our virtual long life era community, and I do, believe me, I do, we need to add an IRL component to it. Okay, Jenny, you have anything to say before we sign off? I'm going to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. For those of you who are celebrating it, I'm going to let my bread proof. I'll pull it out in about an hour and a half when the grandkids get here. I'll take a picture and show you at the end and post it as well. Wholehearted coaching, yes. And hello, she says. And yes, she said yes to in real life, so yes. And Jennifer Tuttle said so true, right? And we were all getting that sort of, that we were all working out at gyms in different places and posting pictures. But I just feel like there needs to be something else. And I want the feedback as to what you'd like to see. I'm here to lead, but I'm here to serve. So I'd really like to hear what it is you might be interested in doing. So that's it for me all together now. Let's see, wish I could smell your kitchen right now. Listen, in my kitchen right now, Jenny, is a gnat, and I already killed one, but there's one more damn little gnat here, and I'm going to go after it as soon as you guys all hang up. All right, well, or say goodbye. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you at the end of the week next week because I am going to be back in Laguna. Bye, everybody. Here we go.